Hello, YouTube, and welcome back to Allie's Wonderland Creations. I am Alice Seraphin, and I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the wonderful, hot Pacific Northwest. So welcome to my channel, everybody. I do live in that little Hickville, USA town of Belfair, Washington, and today was the Jamboree for the opening season of football for my grandson, for the Bulldogs, right? And oh, guys, was it a scorcher? It was a scorcher. It was so long. We left here at 10 o'clock and we literally did not get back at this house until 5. And I have been up since 4:30 this morning. And from the moment oh my goodness, guys, I didn't even charge my back this morning. That's how crazy it has been. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get, I can't even charge now. I just realized that it's gonna be double duty tomorrow. It's gonna take like 3 times as long. Yes, I can miss a charge. It's not recommended. It does damage the battery. It's not recommended to miss a charge, but you can. It just takes like double and triple time to charge it. But if I get off schedule, sorry on this little tangent, I just realized this. I did not get my back charged this morning because the moment I got up, it was all hands on deck. It was a crazy thing. So this is August 2025's Paper Pumpkin alternative video number 1. It is literally like 6 something in the evening. It is still a scorcher. My 2 gentlemen, my hubby and my grandson, are out cold. They're out cold. Yes, they are out cold. It's just one of those things. So this paper pumpkin kit, guys. Oh, if I thought last month's was a creative challenge, this one is a creative challenge. This kit is called Farmhouse Florals, August 2025's kit. This kit is like the normal kits where you get to make 9 cards, 3 designs of each, and the envelopes are all the same. They are not very challenging. They remind me of cards, like a box set of thank you cards that you could buy at any drugstore. That is my honest first off opinion of them. So the challenge is, what can I do with this kit there's not really a whole lot to change up, but what can I do with what I have in this kit to make interesting cards for myself for my personal use? That's always what my goal is to make cards for my own personal use. But I am not impressed with this kit. Some of you may absolutely love this. For me, this is not, I mean, it's not that the designs aren't beautiful. It's a beautiful design. But to me, they look like a box of cards a box of thank you cards you would get at a drugstore. That being said, simplicity in it is very good. Some people like very simple cards, not a lot of elements to it. This to me would represent a kit more than a paper pumpkin kit. Yes, paper pumpkin's a kit. There's just not much in this, and there's not much to do with it. And I want to do something when I buy a paper pumpkin kit. So on a scale, if we were to rate this A, B, C, D, E, and F, I would give this kit a very big fat D. I wouldn't give it an F because they're beautiful, but I would give it a D for lack of. So not lack of color or design, but lack of creativity as far as giving the purchaser creative license to do more with it. So that's my honest opinion. Some of you out there may disagree with me, and that's okay. That's what I love about this channel, is feel free to say, oh, you are so wrong, girl. I love this kit. I love the simplicity of this kit because that's what this is open forum about. And, but my opinion, I want a creative challenge. Yes, it's challenging, but it's challenging in a way that there aren't a lot of pieces for me to change up and do a lot with. So I'm going to take a big creative license and just use the blank spaces because there are a lot of blank pieces in this kit. That's why I give it a D. So sorry, It's not that it's not beautiful. It's just lacking in substance of pieces to do and artwork on the card bases to use as a jumping off point. So we're going to get into those pieces. So as always, it gives you directions. On the back, as always, this QR code would lead you to a video that would show you how to put this kit together as it was designed. Down here it says contain supplies for 9 cards and 9 envelopes. Down here it lists its coordinating colors: Calypso Coral, Darling Duckling, Gray Granite, Lost Lagoon, Pecan Pie, and Secret Sea. Darling Duckling is one of those new in colors, and so is Secret Sea. I do not have those colors, and I am no longer investing in the in colors. Not unless one of them like is hands down just a wowzer. I'm just not going there anymore. Personally, that's just my personal thing. So this one over here would lead you to this set of 9 dies. They're called the Circle of Season dies. They coordinate with July, August, and September's Paper Pumpkin Kit. And last month we already went through how, well, earlier in August, we went through how September's kit will coordinate with a suite of products from the new catalog. This is a look at the stamps. Now the stamps, wonderful, wonderful stamps. I love this. Why we did not get a die to fit this teacup with this set of dies, I do not know. That would have been marvelous, but instead we got a circle. So over here, we have a for you, a thank you. This one here, this floral, just a note, you are loved, to say forever your friend. Good friends are hard to find. I'm so glad we found each other. XOXO and a hello, which you know I love. I do like the font. For a great friend, always here for you. These two, I believe, will fit in the teacup. These solid flowers, these two, this little leaf, this little one, which is just a smaller but larger version of this print. Thank you for your constant friendship and listening ear. Absolutely love this. Now, the one thing that Stampin' Up! Has neglected to do is they put the name of the Friendly Floral stamp set, but they have neglected to put which paper pumpkin kit and the year. So what I do is I'm going to come in here, oops, and I will put maybe, let's try this again. August 2025, and I'm going to put it on both so that when I close it up like so, and I had a clear envelope around here somewhere, then you put it in a clear envelope, which I don't know where my envelope went to at the moment, and you tuck your stamps in there and you put it in your clear envelope. I'm looking, and that's how I store it, but for the moment it's nowhere to be seen. So, oh, here it is. I'm reusing one, and then tuck it in the clear envelope, and this is good to store it. Now, heads up, Stampin' Up! Is getting rid of their hard cases like this, and they're going to pouches like what their dies are coming in. I am not happy about it. Some of you may like that. Some of you may like to store them like this. I have mine on a shelf like this or in a container. I like these. I think they're more protective. They are getting rid of their cling stamps, meaning there's no more red rubber. And since they're getting rid of these, they are also getting rid of their wonderful, wonderful Stampin' Write markers, which for me, I love those. I just got them as a gift, a brand new set, which I am even more grateful for because I will spend years and years using those. So those are on the out, but just to let you know, so are these stamp cases and the red rubber stamps. They're all going to polymer stamps now. I read that and I was so saddened and I was not happy, but I can't, you know, they're doing what they need to do. So that's our stamp case, and we are going to put this aside and we are going to look at everything in the kit. Now, videos 1 through 5, I show you everything that comes in the kit. After that, we move along because I start using everything that comes in the kit. So we got a package of mini dimensionals. some linen thread. Our spot is that Secret C. Now, I don't think I'll be using this at all because I don't intend on buying this. So I'll be using other colors. And then our envelopes. Let me share with you those first because I'll be cutting these up. I'll be cutting up one today. This is our envelope. Not much to go on. They have a little bit of a natural look, a little speckling to them. Put that down there. And you can see I've already cut one up. There's some bits and pieces of one. This is one card base. This is what I mean. They look like something you could buy at the drugstore, right? Do a little stamping there. That's basically it. They give you a couple of flowers to pop here and there. And they give you another typewriter to stick on top of it. Not my favorite thing. The back is totally blank, which you can cut that apart and use for anything you want. And then our next card base is totally blank. It's just this natural look of paper with that little speckling in it. And then next is this one here with the basket. Same thing on the back, totally blank. Very plain Jane business there. Not much to share. So we have these sentiment strips. So we have these pieces that go on the typewriter, these pieces that go on the handle of the purse, and these which go with this little window setting, which there's not much to go with this at all, I'm telling you. And there's 3 of this, right? And then you have the handbag strap, which you can go here. You have a couple of flowers, a couple of singles. These are double flowers and the typewriter. And guys, that's it for this kit. That's it. There's not really much to go on, really. So we're going to get started with our card. I mean, I can't do much with can't show you more than there is. That's it. So with that being said, what I am going to show you is we're going to cut apart an envelope, which I already have cut, but I'm going to show you how I cut apart the envelopes. I am bringing in a wonderful die that you haven't seen the mail call for because I've been so busy this week. Tomorrow I'm doing a mail call video. This die says Bless. The wonderful Tammy S sent me a set of 4 dies that are just lovely, but we're going to be using that. We are going to be using this stencil that the lovely Joanne P had sent me, and I hadn't had a chance to use them, but here we are. So I would suggest any stencil, and I do mean any stencil. A lattice stencil would work. Any basic stencil would work. The eyelet embossing folder would work for this, and just do a little sponging on it. I just want to use some stuff that I haven't had a chance to. Okay, so what else are we using? I'm using some DSP that the lovely Phyllis sent me from Lily Pod Lane, right? I die cut Blessed from this part. And right there, what else did I die cut? Oh, I die cut layer number 1 from that as well. And then, well, we're just going to get right into this here. So, to start off with, that's what we're going to cut. I feel like I haven't been in here in days, and that is the truth. So, we have a card base. We have a matching envelope. Now, my card base is that little 1/4 inch shy, but a regular card base would be 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. My card base is 5.5 by 8, scored at 4. Just a little hair off. So layer number 1 for me is 4 by 5.5. Yours would be 4 1/4 by 5.5. Mine is just that little narrow. That's layer number 1. Layer number 2 for me is 3.5 by 5. Double check. Yep, 3.5 by 5. Your layer number 1 would be 3.5. Oh, 3 3/4 by 5. And that's just going to give us a nice little border around the inside. Now with this, we're not going to do any extra speckling or anything. We're going to do some stamping on it with some stamps from the kit, but we're going to do some stenciling. First, I want to show you how I cut and got my piece. So I'm going to show you how I cut my envelopes apart. So I cut the flap either on a guillotine or a trimmer. You cut the flap off. You trim a hair off of one side, and it's so stifling hot. And you trim this side off. And oh guys, my little Hank, not little, Hank the Tank, they don't call him a tank for nothing. He was on today, and his left arm is bandaged from here to here, and he is bruised all up in here and all up his arm, but he was still out there playing his game. And boy, if they didn't know why they needed a kid Hank's size, they found out today. Yes, they did. So this is not the side I cut from. I cut from this side. And what I did is I went to 3.5, cut, and then I went to 5 and I cut. And that left me with this piece. So today you kind of got, I'm going to take a sip of water, sorry. You kind of got a look at the other teams in the league. And on one team, there were 3 kids, Hank size, and a couple of them were heads bigger. And on one team that they played, because you didn't play all of them, this kid was shoulders and a head taller than Hank and probably had a good 25-30 pounds heavier than Hank. And that's saying something, right? I mean, he's built like a tank, and that's, he is. And Hank held his own. Oh my gosh, he did not give an inch. In fact, he pushed the kid back a few steps every time he met him on the line. And my husband and I were like, yeah, go kid. And that's saying a lot. I mean, I told him when we met up with them after the 2, because they played too many games. The first game, they didn't have kids Hank size. They just didn't. But that second team, boy, they matched. When Hank was off the line, right? That kid was tossing our guys left and right. But when Hank was on the line, they had to match him up against Hank, and Hank held him. He couldn't go after our guys. He couldn't toss them around because Hank was there, and Hank held him. He couldn't do nothing. And I thought to myself, now these kids who, you know, sometimes aren't as nice to Hank. I mean, they're teammates, but, you know, they see Hank's size, and Hank's always the last one when they're running laps around the track and everything. Hank's slower. Now they see why they need kids Hank's size. They may not need a whole line of them, but they need 1 or 2 his size. And now they see why. Because Hank protects. And I was like, yes. I was so, so, so proud of him. Because he did not give an inch. And he told me, he's like, Manji, he's like, I think I could have taken him to the ground had my arm not been injured. He's like, I think I could have taken him to the ground. And I told him, I said, honey, I said, you didn't need to take him to the ground. I said, you held him. You kept him from tossing your guys around. I said, because when they took you off, because you have to rotate, and our coach, bless their hearts, they are actually rotating the guys. I was impressed with that too. I'm just going to do this color. I'm not going to use that, but we're going to do the smooshie in this color and clean it off. They actually rotated these kids on and off. Hank played both offense and defense. I was impressed with that too. But it goes to show, I mean, they have told us time and time again how, you know, impressed they are with what Hank has been able to do. And told Hank, I said, you know, Hank, you're coming along. So I'm really, really happy with how he did today. Just, you know, he played injured. And that goes a long way. I mean, he's not overly injured. He's just, there's this thing they call the hill at the high school. And I think I've mentioned this before. They were running it full gear at 8:45 at night at dusk in helmets where your vision is not all there. And Hank took a dive, and I guess his arm got ran over by a couple of kids or something. I don't know. But anyways, his hand is, yeah, his hand's a bit messed up. It's nothing to be overly too much. So I want to stencil this. I want to leave these blank. So where's my little blue things? We're going to mask those off because we're going to give those hopefully some color. All right, maybe this one mask off. But yeah, Hank was on. And then he gets in the car, right? And, well, he's my grandson. Even on the field, guys, I tell you this. He wears shorts. How he got shorts, my daughter got him some shorts that she thought he could wear underneath his uniform pants, and bless her heart, he did. He got him under those pants of his. But when they were all done with their little mini games, I see him out there, and he is wiggling himself right on out of those clothes. Yep, into his shorts and his shirt. Yeah, Hank doesn't like staying in that uniform a second longer than he has to. Not 1 second. Not at all. So we're going to use a little bit of Old Olive here. And it is so hot. But his shoes are soaking wet. They had this water tank hooked up to a water hose at the field, and the kids, I don't know if it was before the game or in between the game, I thought they were just spraying their heads down. Oh, not my grandson. No, my grandson's spraying his whole body down. I mean, yeah, his shoes are soaked. I was like, why do your shoes sound like they're squishy? He's like, because I sprayed them down with water. I said, oh, good grief, Charlie Brown, Hank. He's like, Monty, it was so hot out there. And I knew, I know it's hot. But, oh, yes. So his shoes are on the boot dryer again. Though I probably could have just set them outside it. So, and the wind is just not moving. The bleachers were concrete. It was just miserable. Miserably hot. And yes, I was covered head to toe. Head to toe. Oh, I should have brought my hat. I got a chain, or it looks so cute. So we're just going to do this one green. And I'm just tapping up and down. I like the little stippling look. We're going to try to get that covered a little bit better. But football has begun. It's actually going to get a little bit better due to scheduling conflicts at the high school here. We're going to go down to possibly, okay, we got our fingers crossed, to 3 practices a week. Sometimes they'll call for the 4th because you can only practice 4 days a week when you have a game. So practices are 5 days a week when you don't have a game. They can only play football 5 days a week. That includes a game. So that there is, those are rules. Oops, that moved a little bit. We're going to have to line that all up here in a second. So you can see, now that I'm taking it off, if I just wanted the greenery, that's fine, but I don't. I want, and I should have used my little sticky mat that Phyllis sent me, so now I've got to line this back up, but this won't be a problem. I just hold it still. That looks great. We're going to put this right there, and we're going to get a little bit of Daffodil Delight instead of the Darling Duckling, right? Because I don't have that color and I don't intend to. And where did it go? It's right here. And this one is going to be the Daffodil Delight. But what was really nice is watching Hank on the field on the sidelines with his rest of his teammates, because this year he looked very comfortable, and it just was a good match. Now, I got some other updated news. North Mason, not just 5 years in a row, North Mason has never lost the Battle of the Hatchet against Shelton. However, this year, all of their B-string kids are 6th graders, and we only have like 4 kids that are 6th graders, including my Hank. So we will have to see. Oh, yeah. That's all right, though, right? It's okay if it happens. I mean, you can't win them forever, right? At least in my opinion. So look how pretty that is, right? Just that little pop of yellow. We're going to have... Oh, I should have done yellow up there, but we're having... This is going to be down there. I think we'll do some little yellow butterflies up there. I'm going to leave that here. So this is on my desk, as always, that April 2025 paper pumpkin, right? So we're going to take out our little butterfly. I think we're just going to use the one. And I'm going to stick it on the back here of those 2 flowers. Maybe we'll do all 3. We're going to stamp our yellow. Yep. I'm going to take that one off. We'll do all 3. Because you see, I cut mine apart and you can see my little line there. Might have to do another little butterfly here in a minute, but maybe I'll just do that one there. 2 butterflies, 1 there. That's good. All right, I'm going to leave those up there. Leave that there. And now I want to stamp here in some Highland Heather, because that was on the list, right? Calypso Coral was on the list. On here it has purple though. Calypso Coral, Gray Granite, Lost Lagoon, but they have purple on there. So we're going with Highland Heather. I saw purple, we're going to use it. So first one, we're going to stamp off. We're going to put the first one there. Stamp off. I wish now I hadn't done it so strong, but that's okay. And you know what? We're going to take our little one here. We're going to stamp off and do a few little flowers on my little stencil here, like it's blooming. Just to throw a few here and there. I feel like I need some dark purple here, so maybe some dark purple ones over here, some full strength Highland Heather. Yep. And maybe one down here. All right. That's good. Now we're going to take Lost Lagoon. And we're going to sponge all around this. Oh, I was going to use some of this as well. So this is that stamp. We were going to add a little bit. We want to stamp off twice. So 1, 2. I want to add a little here. I don't know if that is even seeable. So maybe a little bit. Not across the butterfly. We're just stamping off one now because otherwise you can't really see it. Ooh, because that did not stamp off all the way. Let me see. Nope, that's good. Now we can sponge. Now we can do the sponging, the fun stuff. If you put your fingers behind, we just created our own little piece of DSP because this kit left us really no options to work with, right? It gave us no colored DSP, nothing on the envelope to work with. So we had to come up with something. A stencil is great. It didn't have to be floral. You could have done just a basic stencil. There was that lattice stencil, which is fabulous. I'll probably use that in another video. It's just I really wanted to use something I hadn't used yet. And I felt this was a good choice. This is what I saw in my head, and as I go, I build on that. Really, really pretty. And we're still going to stamp our envelope, but this is going to go front and center right there. We're going to use a little strip of the DSP for the inside of the card. Let me get my reverse tweezers. Also from Tammy. The Blessed is from Tammy. And I thought this Blessed would go really well with one of the sentiments from this kit. And that sentiment we're going to stamp on the inside of this card. I just thought they go really well together. Oops. And I have a couple of flies. Again, they're really bad right now. We have a fly plant that's not doing its job. Okay, so that's the card on the outside, right? And then on the inside, I have this little strip that I cut for just wiping the glue off the nozzle. I'm just going to squiggle a little line here. then we're going to stamp our sentiment in the Lost Lagoon. And probably, let's go ahead and stamp this a little bit. We're going to stamp a little bit up there. And a little bit down here. And we still have our envelope to stamp. So let's try to stamp it the right way. Good friends are hard to find. I'm so glad we found each other, which I absolutely love this. Right? And we can stamp little flower there. Oops, that didn't. I was hoping there was enough ink on that, but there is not. Absolutely not. But we want it. We're going to do 2. So that's the inside, right? Now let's stamp our envelope. We're going to stamp a large one, which we can stamp that one full strength. And then 2 little ones. And we're going to repeat that again. Full strength. I think I hear Hank. He must have gotten up. Up there. And then I want to stamp for a great friend. Right here. And then we're going to take the little background, right? Stamp off and stamp that as well. So that is my first alternative. I know I showed you some stamps before and I still want to use those. This came to mind first and I'm going to go with it first, right? So that's my first alternative. And I know you're like, well, what did she really use? Well, I used the envelope and I used the sentiment and I used a few of the stamps. Quite simple, but hey, that's my first one. I know, but you got to make use of what was given to us in the kit. And there wasn't a whole lot to work with, so we had to make do with what we had. And I still like it. I know it's rather simple, but I do. I really love that. Blessed. Good friends are hard to find, and I'm so glad we found each other, because when you find a good friend, you are very blessed. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I hope to see you again here in my Wonderland. And tomorrow I'll be making more paper pumpkin videos, and I can't wait until school starts and they tell me that they're going down to 3 days a week for football. I'll have more time. So thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all again here soon in my Wonderland. Bye-bye for now, everyone.